They the same millennials, it's time for change. Our voices rising up, destroying all these chains. Bitches like you, we still the same. Choosing Christ over everything remains. They the same millennials, I'm searching for change. Lord, thank you for saving me from the things that I can't. Let's all take a stand. Jesus, let it rain. Multiply our land. Say it with me if you say it. Say it with me if you. They the same millennials. Thank you, Lord. They the same millennials. 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 They the same millennials.
How you doing, everybody? This is the State of Saved Millennials. We dedicate this show to our young adults.
And we here today that's participating, we are young Christian adults that's participating in a discussions that we are sharing our perspectives about different things that's happening around us locally, regionally, and also nationally as well.
Hi, I'm Lauryn Griffin. I'm 22 years old. I am currently a junior at Chamberlain Nursing College. I work at Target, and I've been at Mount Bethlehem for like 10 years now. My church.
Okay. My name is Antonio Matthews. I'm a music artist, so I go by the name of Youngstar Tony. I have my own videography company, and I work for Amazon right now. And I also go to school for audio engineering. And I've been at Mount Bethlehem for about 2 years and a half now.
Hi everybody, I'm Cierra. I'm 24 years old. I have also attended Mount Bethlehem for around like maybe like 10 years now, or more. I'm a graduate student at University of Illinois at Springfield for nonprofits and leadership management, and I also work at Mondale Christian Health Center as a medical social worker and as well as the YMCA. So today we are going to talk about just our different perspectives about today's election and how it refers to our lives. So one of you all want to start?
Lauryn?
So, my perspective on the election, for one, I was really excited and proud to see how many youth had really came out and voted this year. We had the statistics for youth voting. It was higher this year than any other year, and that really like made me proud of my youth and my friends, because my friends who never voted before went out and voted and actually paid attention to the election and the debates. So that really, made me feel like we're actually growing up and becoming more mature. Personally, this election was one that I paid attention to more. I did background information on all the candidates before I voted, because my first time voting, I cheated off my mama paper and I voted for everybody she voted for. So that really made me want to educate myself more on who I'm voting for, because my views might not be the same as my mom's views, and me cheating off her paper, I was basically standing for what she stand for and not for what I wanted to stand for. So my first time voting really made me want to involve myself more in who I'm voting for, and to actually learn more about the election and what the presidents want to bring to us.
Cierra, what do you think about it?
Um, I totally agree with Lauren first. I definitely realize that the younger population have made our voices heard, and we actually have stood up to the saying of staying woke as far as just trying to see, how can we be heard in this generation. And with that being said, I think of the election as an eye opener. By me having like a master's of social work, I have no choice but to understand a policy um and what it means to vote for this judge here in this state, or this judge here. So I had no choice but to do my research and learn about the different president candidates and, like I said, the different judges and everything. So this election has been an eye opener for me. As far as actually, we got our first Black woman who's a vice president, so I'm very happy about that. Um, so yeah, I'm really excited and eager to see what's in store for us as far as the younger population as well.
Okay. I also want to give a big ups to us young folks because that statistic is great. It shows that we actually care about our future as well. And this election, it taught me how serious and important it is to even vote, or
Hmm.
who do we have to lead our country. The election before this one, with way before Trump was even selected on office with Obama, um, I was choosing based off of, um, Obama was a black president, not even understanding, and not saying that he was a bad president, but not understanding what I'm voting for. Even the year after that, they didn't understand what I'm voting for. But now this year, I put myself in the same situation where I'm really not understanding what I'm voting for, because I didn't pay attention to the candidates as much as I should. But it also taught me, like, the position we put ourselves between the people that we have to choose from, that it's very important on, moving forward, that I do educate myself on this and also be able to educate others on who do we choose to put in office.
Do you guys feel like your vote counted this election?
Um,
Uh,
we gonna see. That's how I feel. We gonna see if it counted. I honestly don't think the time the time to say that hasn't came yet, because we will literally have to wait until Biden get into office to see what he actually do for the black community. See if he really stand on what he said. See if he really meant what he said, for us to say, like, okay, my vote really counted. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, I agree with Antonio. Numerically, yes, our vote counted because he won. Statistically as well, but as far as him putting in the work like he said he's going to do, which I pray that he gets rid of these student loans like he said
Right.
he's going to do. So
Okay.
I really hope that's where my vote counted, as far as that. But yeah, statistically, yes. There's just like, actually just like putting in the work we have to see. Have you all heard any like negative comments about the presidency and the outcome of it?
Yeah, I heard a lot.
Word of mouth, social media, news
Um,
outlet.
yeah, I actually, like, through social media, I see a lot of negative stuff. As far as, like, saying, y'all really gonna see how Biden really is when he get into
Yeah.
office. And then also the other side saying, like, Trump ain't nothing, he ain't never did nothing for us. He tried to send us through war and stuff like that. Honestly, that's what kind of made this. That's what gave me an eye opener on this election, because I was able to play the middleman and watch both sides debate, like, through social media, of Trump
Mhm.
supporters and Biden supporters, and the things people would say about each person. It kind of just gave me a balance of, like, okay, who do I really want to vote for? Who is the best option? So I
Yeah, I
saw.
understand too. I I basically was confused at first because I kept hearing, oh, Trump is no good and Biden is no good either. So I'm like, okay, who has good in them? Like, I'm pretty sure there's a background in different, things that you personal qualities, leadership qualities as well that you're supposed to have as a president. Like, who displays them and who doesn't. So I was confused about that. And I was just thinking that it's just a younger adult. Like, do I have the privilege to feel some type of way about not even wanting to vote at all for no one? So that made me think about that leading up to the election. I didn't want to vote for anyone because I kept hearing and seeing things that, about both of them. So I just really just had to do my own research. So
Yeah, same here. Like, it was frustrating, to be honest with you.
yeah,
Yeah.
it really was. Where was it anything shocking about this election that, you know, led you to thinking that things may not change?
Lauren, you want to answer that question?
I didn't experience any hate mail, but on Facebook, a lot of people were saying, y'all don't even know what y'all voting for Biden for. Y'all just being follow the leader, y'all jumping on the bandwagon. So I
Mhm.
did have a lot of people try to talk us, I wouldn't say talk us out of voting for Biden, but they tried to make it seem like we were just following everyone else. They claimed we didn't have a true reason of why we voted for Biden. So it was a lot of that on Facebook, a lot of negativity saying, Biden is just as bad as Trump, and
Mhm.
Trump at least cared about us a little bit. So it definitely was a lot of negative comments on Facebook about it.
I also heard a lot like on social media about how voting for Democrats and they are the ones who put us in slavery, and why do y'all want to vote for Democrats and they the ones who keep us broke, and why don't y'all vote for Trump? He got us $1,200 and all these scam monies and stuff like this, and that we're gonna go to jail if we vote for Biden and stuff like that. So it was a lot of negative comments about that as well.
Okay, I've definitely seen a lot of negative comments from the Black community towards the Latina community. Um, I'm not sure on what state it was, but um, a lot of Black people were talking about on Facebook how a lot of Latinas voted for Trump and they felt that they were like betrayed because, at one point in time, Trump are still are held in these basically concentration camps for our kids that can't see their moms and can't see their fathers. So a lot of Black younger people were confused and kind of angry with the Latina community, and they didn't understand why did a lot of them vote for him. So that was the only like almost the really the only negative thing that I really experienced on Facebook by seeing. But other than that, it's just pretty much like who's to vote for. Like I don't understand. I didn't understand who to vote for because I've seen so many bad comments about both of them. So yeah. Um, how do you feel about Trump's threats about the stimulus checks and we won't get this and we won't get that? Do you feel like that have affected a lot of the Black votes?
Um, I would say yes. I honestly deep down feel like the people who voted for Trump was looking for another stimulus check, and the extra money on the unemployment. So I feel like Trump saying that he wasn't going to give stimulus checks anymore really made people look at him differently, because I feel like they were only messing with him because of the money. Like, it never was because they felt like he was a good president or he'll do good by us. It was strictly for the money, because they never received a stimulus check. Like, we never had a
Mhm.
president that gave out checks. So I feel like
Mhm.
people were really basing off their opinions about him about the checks. Because I even seen a lot of little Facebook memes saying like, "Oh, vote for Trump so we can get our second check, or we can get more scam money, more business
Mhm.
loans." So I feel like a lot of people use that as their reasoning to vote for Trump again. And when he said that he wasn't going to give them the checks no more, that's when you seen that people start betraying him and falling back from him.
Okay. What about you, Antonio?
I feel like it did affect our Black votes out of fear. Out of
Okay.
fear for families whose parents probably lost jobs. Out of fear of parents who can't get public assistance. Out of fear of things like that. So I feel like he probably did gain a lot of Black votes because of it, because people were looking forward to having that money because of everything that's going on with Corona and stuff like that.
Okay. I honestly think that some of our Black votes did go to him. I would say because of the fear, like you said, of not getting the money anymore, and just not being able to just just have that leeway of getting stuff or actually monetary gifts from our president like we have never done before. So I feel like that has a lot to do with the votes. Um, so I just want to talk about a little bit about, did you ever imagine in seeing or even thinking about having another black person in office? Like, how do you feel about that?
Honestly, it caught me off guard. I didn't even know like voting for Biden would put a black woman as vice president. So when I seen it, like that's one part that really made me feel like my vote counted because
Okay.
I was unaware of that. Like I told you, I did not educate myself about this election.
Hmm.
So um, I feel like it's amazing. Like it's another step forward. Like we had
Yeah.
Obama, and now not only a black man was in office, now we got a black woman in office. And I want to see like where can we go with this now? Like where can we take this? How can we continue to help her move forward with with her um career politics?
You know, I would kind of have to disagree because, for one, she doesn't even claim herself to be African American. I'm not sure if you guys know, but you know, she doesn't identify herself as being an African American woman. So now, if she was pro black, yes, I'm African American, yes, I love my black people, I would agree with you. But the fact that she doesn't even identify as being African American, it's like, do we even claim her as being our first African American vice president? Because she doesn't even think she's African American. So, you know, I was happy about it. You know, we got our first woman vice president, and I can't really so much say the African American part because she doesn't even
Hmm.
identify herself as being that. So that part I was a little like, because why you want to be black? I feel like black people are cool. Why wouldn't you want to identify yourself as being African American? No.
That's a
Okay. Okay, I totally agree. Actually, I didn't know that, but thank you for telling me that. But just as the thought, you just brought up something, just being the first woman now, Antonio, you're outnumbered here. So, us the women, we can take control too when it comes to having the world in our hands as well. So, how do you all feel about a woman running in the office, taking control of things, um, just just women having power overall?
From our perspective, we love it. We love to see our women in charge. We all
Mhm.
for it because we feel like you said, women can take control too. But
Mhm.
the gentlemen disagree. They don't even want to see a woman pastor. They feel like women can't even run the head of their family. And that really shows how sexist males can be, because they feel like a
Mhm.
woman isn't able to have that authority and be able to use her authority in a proper way, because they feel
Mhm.
like we think too much on our emotions, or we based our decisions on how we feel. So I love it, but got the men that don't agree and don't really like it, but
Mhm.
it's the first for everything.
okay. I mean, I don't fear this at all. Like I honestly feel
Okay.
like it creates in America, it creates unity between the male and female. It's about how the people take it. Like, are we gonna
Mm-hmm.
fight and be like, um, well, we feel like she shouldn't have that much power, or women shouldn't have that much power, or men should have power, or men shouldn't have power. Like, if we stop the conflict between each other and we just come together and not try to have control over each other, then I feel like it won't be an issue. But me being a Christian, I will and will always understand that the man is the head of his household and God is the head, and he got to take care of his family and stuff like that. So, I mean, I always stand on that standard, but not to say that I control women. Like, I don't never want to
Mhm.
make women feel like, or men shouldn't make women feel like that we have to control them in any way. Like equality is I feel like is important. Definitely we need it in this country. So this is kind of a testimony for that.
That's true. I'm glad that you brought up, the fact that we do have diversity, inclusion, and gender equality all in the White House, and that's how we should be. But my next question is, do you feel as though, well, I'm going to ask both of you, do you all feel as though women should not have the same job opportunities as men um, in any, career track?
I feel like yes. I feel like we're equal. We're both humans. A man is just stronger. A man is just physically stronger. I feel like they tend to see women as emotional and they feel like we can't hold the same jobs as them. But I done seen a
Hmm.
woman doctor do way better than the male doctor. I done seen a woman firefighter do way better than the male firefighter. So it's basically like people are so stuck on the gender part and not really
Yeah.
who the person is as a whole,
Hmm.
Um, so I do feel like a woman is able to hold the same job as a man. But like I said, you got the men that feel like they're superior to us and that we're not up there with them. That dates back to the 60s, 70s when the man was the only one that could work and women
Hmm.
couldn't work. So this has been
What
something
about?
for a long time where men feel like they just have one up on us because they're men. You may be physically stronger than me, but mentally I might be stronger than you.
Hmm.
Um,
Antonio?
I, I feel like if we can accept a man doing nails, we can accept a woman being a mechanic. It's the same thing, you know what I'm saying? Like you should be what you want to be in life. Again, that go back to equality. Like we shouldn't be labeled on what type of jobs we gotta work or what we gotta do to fit into society or what society tell us what to do with our lives. We should be able to choose how we wanna, go along with our careers or what we enjoy doing in life and not be scared to do that based off of what how society gonna judge us for doing it.
Okay, good point. Um, really good
How
point, actually.
how do you feel?
I feel as though women can do the same thing as men can. Um, I have learned from a man, my uncle, pastor, everything. Every man that has come into my life has actually taught me something to be the one that I am today. So it doesn't mean that they made me, you know, or they it actually molded me to the person I am today, but not saying that they're stronger than me. They have better qualities than me. They just taught me what they knew. So now it's just I'm a better woman because of them, and now I know how to change a tire. Now I know how to, you know, put um what is it called, the antifreeze in my
Mhm.
car. I know how to do that. I know how to check my air tire with the little tire gauge or whatever it may be. But I have learned that, so I really do feel as that women can definitely do same thing as men if we have guidance from men.
Definitely. I
That's
mean
what I
that's
think.
fair because is it wouldn't be right to lack something like putting on a tire when because you feel like you have to depend on a man, but what if a man
Hmm.
is not always around to fix that flat tire when you're on the side of the road or you got to sit there and wait? But if you learn that quality on your own, for one, it's safer for you because you don't have to sit out in the dark for too long. You know what I'm saying? So it really it takes away a lot for you.
Thank you for answering that question. My next question is, how do you feel as a nation that we can come together and create unity amongst like ourselves? Like, how do you, or do you think that it can even happen or will happen? Like, how do you think that we can get to like voting equally and, treating people equally and not differently?
I feel like that comes from how you were raised. Because I feel like us being raised in church, we we have a different thought process than someone who doesn't go to church. And I'm not
Hmm.
knocking no one who doesn't go to church, but I feel like, we're taught to love. We're taught to work together. We're taught to, come together as a unity. I mean, a union. I'm sorry, and I feel like we know that, but someone who was raised off hate, who wasn't raised being taught to show love or being taught to, be nice to people, they will have a different thought process. So, I mean, we will want everyone to show the same love, but people just aren't brought up the same. People don't have the same morals. It's really, what you believe in. I would say so.
I feel like we won't be able to change that until we could literally have somebody in the position of power that put God first for this nation. Um, Moses had a position of power, but he still had to go to God. Jesus had a position of power, but he still had to go to God. We have people in position of power that wants to do what they want to do or what they feel is best for us as people, and it really never work out good um, when they try to do things on their own. The Bible says to not lean on our own understanding. I feel like
Hmm.
as a world, we have to understand that, and I feel like we won't be able to change anything until we do that. Until we stop leaning on our own understanding or what we think is right.
Okay. Speaking of spirituality, do you feel as though we should separate that from government? While looking at the president and the legislative branches, do you think that we should like separate the spiritual from government? How do you all feel about that?
I don't think we should because we have to have faith in who we put in office. And, you know, if Trump would have became president, we would still have to have faith. God wouldn't put someone in a position so powerful to destroy us. So that's where our
Yeah.
faith comes into play. That's where us
Mhm.
going to church come into play because for example, what if we didn't always agree with our pastor, or what if our pastor, didn't run a church to, help us and give us the word to help us? We will have to have faith, like, God, okay, you put this pastor in charge. We have to have
Yeah.
faith in you. We have to know that you're not going to let anybody destroy our lives. So I would say for myself, I keep the two together because you just got to have faith. Like, you know, we just got to trust that God put that person in office to do good by us and not to just do bad by us. And maybe they still do bad by us, but we still have to continue to have faith. So I think in my
Perspective.
whatever, yeah, perspective, thank you. I would keep the two together.
Uh, Sierra, what do you think?
I think that we should not separate. Um, well, I would say it depends, because there can be many different religions that we don't technically know what other people could like side with. So I definitely feel as though that have it should not be mandatory. I would say, but there should be some type of division amongst what happens when it comes to government and religion, because I might be a Christian and someone else might be, a Buddhist, and we might not think the same. So our it creates a space of other ideas to happen. It creates a conversation to happen about different things that can happen in the world. So it just depends on, I feel like, the type of religion that people go by. Um, so I feel like it should be separated in a way, but not really, if that makes sense.
Um, I feel like it's really needed, and not to say like as far as I forgot what I was gonna say. It slipped my mind. But I do feel like it shouldn't be separated because it we have to stand on certain morals in life. You know what I'm saying? And not to say like how you mentioned about two different religions. When we talking about spirituality, just the morals of it to show love.
Hmm.
I think
Yeah.
just having that understanding is important. I don't necessarily have to. tell people that I'm Christian.
Right.
Um, I could just show it in my walk in life, the way I treat people, the way I hold myself up, my character overall. I feel like that's the important part, and people would know that you are connected spiritually with what you believe. Because I'm not gonna knock a Muslim for believing what they believe in. I'm not
Mhm.
gonna knock anybody for what they believe in. But as long as you stand on some type of moral, something that keeps you together, that keeps you from leading or trying to guide people in the wrong direction in life.
Okay. Lauren, you were gonna say something or no?
Mm-mm.
Okay. So with that being said, how can we encourage our young people to keep voting and keep striving to just want to learn and want to be eager to learn about God and government as well? Like how can we, create that conversation with our younger peers?
I honestly feel like by action, just showing them, like they watch us, they
Mm-hmm.
pay attention to what we do, and that's what they're gonna go based off of. Like as a baby, when you're born, you don't know certain things. You don't actually, and when you enter into this world, you know nothing until it's taught to you. So
Mm-hmm.
as long as we continue to stand on voting is important, and we do it, and we stand on going to church, it is really helpful to your life, and we show it and we show why. And then we can
Mm-hmm.
give a testimony to those younger than us and give them a reason to want to follow that and want to find God for themselves and want to vote and want to learn about it and things of that nature. So I can't tell a kid to learn about who you're voting for if I'm not doing it myself. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's
I do believe it starts within yourself. And actually, I know that we say it all the time in our church, just by showing up is just enough of support. Just seeing each other, just supporting each other, just because of our presence. And it really means a lot when you just show up. You don't even have to say anything, but just showing up and just showing that you want to learn. Either when we're in church, you want to learn the word of God, or either when we're in school, we want to learn education. So it's just about just showing up and just being there. So I totally agree with you, Antonio. Lauren, would you like to add?
Um, as far as like getting our youth closer to God and in church more, I talked to my friends about our group at church, the collegiate counselors, and they're really like they love it. Like I tell them like the different events we have coming up. I tell them we all hang together outside of church.
Mm-hmm.
They like the fact that they have people our age actually going to church and participating in church and actually love going to church. I
Mm-hmm.
tell them we all love going to church. We go to church every
Mm-hmm.
Sunday. We be there all day. And it actually, because like my best friend, I was telling her about the group, and she was like, she never seen a church have a college group and within it. So it really makes people interested in what we do, and so they could kind of come get what we're getting. So I like to, not necessarily tell them about the events we have, because I don't like when people just show up to church for events. I'd rather you come when we're not having the events to, understand more. So, even just inviting them to Sunday or just inviting them to, a musical or something like that. I think that'll kind of help people want to come more to church.
Okay. And as far as government, how can you encourage younger peers about wanting to learn more about what's at stake in their future for the future?
Unfortunately, in the real world, you have to give them an incentive. You have to tell them, when we're younger, we only did things because we know we were getting a reward for it. So unfortunately, we have those people like us who actually are who understands, and actually wants to learn just because. But then you have those people like the people who voted for Trump for the check, who you have to kind of
Mm-hmm.
give an incentive to, like, well, if you vote for him, he gonna take student loans
Yeah.
away. If you vote for him, this gonna happen. So as bad as it sounds, we have to give them an incentive to actually want to learn more.
for me. I just feel like it's starting with educating myself first. Like I have to educate myself first so I can actually be able to, do what Lauren said and get them incentives on who they should vote or why they should vote, the importance of voting. One incentive I can get is the fact that we have to fight for rights to vote. That's important in itself, and
Hmm.
and just the time that it took for us to be able to have that right to vote, and women as well. Like even when blacks was able to vote, or when we wasn't able to vote, women still had to fight for rights to vote or to have that position power to vote. So that's even great too that we actually got a woman in office as vice president because years ago she wasn't able to vote. So
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the great positive outcomes, as you are said, like the incentives that lie in front of us are the positive outcomes that the president or that they're saying they're going to do. That's
Mhm.
what I think about. Like I just think about I might get a reward if they really. I just that's what I think about when I think when someone is going to say they're going to do something. I really believe that they're going to do that, and I
Yeah.
really hope that they are.
Mhm.
So that's just a great incentive that I look for the positive outcome of that they're going to help our world become a better place. So that's what I think. If you can give any encouraging words to those who out there who don't believe that this world can become a better place, they don't believe that they can become a better person, what would you be all like be able to tell them?
I would tell them try God. You know, I would tell them have faith. I would tell them come to church. And there's so much of a cliche, come to church, have faith, but it's really true. And I had to learn that the hard way. It took for me to go through something to really understand that having faith and trying God is so important. So,
Hmm.
just telling them like, or just being a testimony to people, you don't have to really get personal with people, but just showing
Hmm.
them where you came from and where you is now is encouraging. Cause you can't do it on your own. You can't turn around and be a new person on your own. You have to have
Yeah.
God. Because if that's the case, everybody would be a good person. You can't just up and say, okay, I want to be a good person. You got to have somebody leading you, somebody behind you. And that person is God for me.
definitely what Lauren said about just being a testimony to people, being able to give them a reason because people don't listen. They don't listen to you. They feel like,
Hmm.
well, you sin just like I sin, so what makes you think you better than me? So when they look at your sinful ways and they like you go to church and you still do that, then what they doing? They start to judge the whole church. So it's more about just being able to be a walking testimony for them, and like how she
Hmm.
and about her friend, her best friend about the collegiate council, like that was a testimony to her. Like wow, like what are they doing? Like I want to check that out now. Like and God got a way of getting the people that He want to get. Um, that's pretty much it. Just being a testimony.
Okay, I totally agree. I do feel like it starts within yourself. Like you do have to show that you yourself you can make it in whatever you choose to do, whoever you want to be, whoever you want to vote for, whoever
Mhm.
you believe in. I do feel like it starts with God as far as like I said, us being the young Christian adults that we are, just trying to show them the way that from the teachings of our pastor that we can make it by just having just a little bit of faith. So just by having faith in anything that we do, anything we say, anything we put our minds to, that would definitely lead us into success. So do you all have any more questions?
Nope.
I have any.
Okay. Well, we would like to thank everybody for watching this today and participating, Lauren and Antonio and myself. And we would just like to just really just thank Jeffries Brantley for putting this opportunity together and allowing us to talk about different topics as we see, as our young generation see that, some people when they think of the young generation, they're like, oh, they don't know nothing, or they're not even looking into the news. They're not looking into these different situations. So I just want to thank you all for allowing us to take the time out to just share our thoughts and actually, quote unquote, making our voice heard. So that's it for today, and thank you all.
Also, if you've seen this, make sure that you leave comments about what you think as well, and topics, and we will also be able to comment back and talk to you about things that you think as well.
Thank you.